with nice weather conditions here. We are at the head of the grid. It's the Ford F-Max, and I'm going to get down on the grid soon. But first, I want to have a look and see if the trucks are arriving. Welcome everyone to race number 1 of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship here at the legendary Bugatti Circus. Bienvenue in France. So the qualifying has been very interesting. We're absolutely sorry that we could not show you that, but right now this is very important. This race number 1, Norbert Kisch leading the pack. It's possible for him to gain his 6th title this weekend, but not after this first race. And of course the other contestants, there's something against him today on the grid. Absolutely fair play, of course. And then we do see the battle of rank number 3, of course, Deschalens and Antonio Albacete, both two really competing hard this season. Such great energy and sportsmanship in between those two. Also, we do see the chrome category, and then there are also fierce battles going on. This grid is absolutely epic this weekend. 18 drivers, ladies and gentlemen. 18 drivers here at the grid. For the fans, it's absolutely spectacular. And we do have a warm welcome for our commentators. As you might know, we do offer you a live stream in German, in Spanish, and of course in English. Chas Draycott, Joachim Ebi-Ebers, and Fonsi Serbian. Hola, everyone!
Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to another race weekend here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, the legendary Le Mans circuit, the Bugatti circuit for this weekend. A brilliant venue to go truck racing. A very tricky and technical track as well that has always provided us with lots of drama and entertainment in the times we've been here before. My name is indeed Chas Draycott. Delighted to be back once again, and I'm looking forward to a great weekend's racing. As you heard there, apologies for no broadcast of the qualifying earlier on today. We will, of course, look at the grid and look at the results that came of that session. But unfortunately, there was no broadcasting for that session earlier on today, and we do apologise for that. We still wait to see whether that will be broadcasted tomorrow, so please do wait for the update on that one. Just keep an eye on our social media channels, whether that be on Instagram, whether that be on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. We'll hope to bring you as much of an update as we can. But as you can see, it's not the hottest day at Le Mans, at the circuit itself, but it's still quite warm down there. It's just a little bit muggy and a little bit humid at the moment. We've got a fantastic bumper weekend as well with the French Truck Racing Championship and the British Truck Racing Championship here as well. So between the three, we have a colossal amount of race trucks. It's definitely not an event to be missed if you enjoy truck racing. And as you can see in the background, massive crowds involved in all of this. It's great to see, and we always have a completely packed start-finish straight, and they have a huge parade at the end of the evening as well. That's always good to see. You can see the teams having a good laugh. The T-Sport Burnout squad, Ty Greenwood joining them for this weekend as well. You can see him there with Tim Frost, and not a bad turnout in qualifying for them and their driver Antonio Albacete. He will start from 3rd position on the grid for this one. There's Michael Marek, the race director as well, having a good wander around the grid, and fantastic shots from down there on the grid here. I'm not quite sure if the guys are using a different lens or a different camera, but either way, we'll pop back down to Christina and see what she's got for us.
Yeah, I made my way out of the Ford F-Max. Really glad you did not film that, but welcome everyone to 80 Heures de Camion. This is absolutely action-packed this weekend, and as Chas Draycott, our English commentator, mentioned, the weather conditions are very fine, but small drips and drops over here. 2 hours ago, we have seen the great pack of 18 drivers lining up with their teams for the big shot, and everyone wants to see that. You too. We are also going to show you this right now.
As you can see, we had a fantastic parade of all of the racing trucks that we have here this weekend. All 3 series brought together in one grid. Absolutely epic to see so many of these massive racing machines all together in the same place. It's not very often at all that you will see this many racing trucks in one location. You often hear about who's bought whose truck and where it's gone to and what series it races in these days, and you know who's got the chassis from this, who's got the parts from that. And it's great to see all the teams come together as well and celebrate all of these epic vehicles. And it's just lovely to have it here at such a special location as well, at Le Mans, at this incredible, incredible circuit. Obviously, we don't run the La Sarthe circuit down the 24-hour layout, but we have the Bugatti circuit at our disposal. And look at the amount of people here to celebrate this and be a part of this incredible moment. Really, really is beautiful. And obviously, we have 18 trucks in our field, our biggest grid of the season, ready to provide us with plenty of action. 4 races, as we usually have in our race weekends, 2 qualifying sessions as well, so it's a very busy weekend for our drivers and teams, but they still take a moment to celebrate these epic things and these great moments within the sport that brings everybody together. And that's one of the best things. You know, we always talk about the one truck family mantra, and this is a real example of that and how well it can all come together. Really is lovely to be a part of this, and obviously we now have just our 18 trucks on the grid. Makes it look a little bit smaller, doesn't it? But there is the man of the weekend, really, Norbert Kirsch, who could take his 6th championship title this weekend if everything goes right. He could get it done in race 3 for Reveish Racing. He will then equal the great Jochen Hahn's 6 titles. Jochen starting alongside him on the front row of the grid. Obviously, he'll do what he can to make sure that he doesn't achieve that 6th title for now, and at least tries to delay the battle to Harama. We need to have a talk about that man as well in the number 11 machine. Andrei Kurzim, just before this race session sort of got prepared, made quite the announcement on social media that he will be leaving the Don't Touch Racing team at the end of the season after Harama. We'll talk more about that as the weekend goes on. A big, big story. Andrei's been a stalwart of the championship now. He's been with Don't Touch Racing for 7 years. He's been in the championship for 11 years. And we look forward to obviously seeing what he'll do next. But it's a big shame to see that partnership go in separate directions. But as you see, pretty packed grid down there. We've got a number of drivers making their way to the grid for the first time this season. A good return for Luke Garrett. Great to see Luke back on form. I think he's had his best qualifying of the season. We have Craig Reed, a regular in the British and Dutch Truck Racing Championships, joining us for this weekend as well. Bradley Smith is back once again for Don't Touch Racing in Truck 33. Simon Faulkner makes his European Truck Racing debut as well. And then Stefan Kirsch is back with us in truck number 32. It's great to have him with us. Louis Requenco further back there as well with them, and Heinrich Clemens-Hecker. Mark Taylor and John Newell will be starting from the same row of the grid, and they will be doing battle once again for this weekend. Lucas Hahn also makes his return to the series. Lucas had said to us after a previous race meeting, I believe it was back at Zolder, the last time we spoke to... No, sorry, Lucas did Zolder, then the Nürburgring. When we spoke to him at the Nürburgring, he said that it was going to be his last one of the season, but he's back here with us at Le Mans this time round, and that's always lovely to see. Lucas is a real challenger in the Chrome category. Obviously, Jose Eduardo Rodriguez will be very happy with his recent performances, but so too will Luke Garrett with the qualifying performance that's put him in the top 10. He's with Christina.
We are here at the 5th row. Luke Garrett, welcome back to the competition, and what a great day it is so far. How did you manage to have a strong comeback like this?
As you know, we've been struggling all year with steering setup. I think we've had a little bit of help from somebody who's managed to get the steering in the right place. And I'm just feeling a little bit more comfortable in the truck. And when you're comfortable with the steering, it's easy to do everything else.
But also you need to feel well. How are you doing?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel comfortable in the truck. I'm looking forward to the race to see where, if the qualifying results reflect in the race. But we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it.
There's a small black cloud ahead of us. Normally there shouldn't be any rain, but are you still prepped for anything that comes?
Yeah, I mean, we've done a little bit this morning when it was damp, so obviously it puts a little bit of a spanner in the works, but yeah, I'm sure we'll be fine.
Thank you very much. So yeah, it's starting to rain a bit, but we'll keep our fingers crossed that it's just some small its and bits. And of course, our new Goodyear tires, as you mentioned earlier, they're really more prepped right now for rainy conditions. Of course, it's not something against aquaplaning, but it's really safe here.
Absolutely is. And in just a moment's time, we're going to welcome our international TV audience from around the world. So we'll go quiet and be back in a sec.
Bonjour, this is one of the most electrifying race weekends in this calendar. Hello, welcome everyone to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It's the legendary Bugatti circuit. It's the legendary circuit of Le Mans. Bonjour en France. So we are here and it's slightly starting to rain, but the weathery conditions are still fine and we are ready to go for this first race at the penultimate round of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We do see Norbert Kisch leading the pack and he might win his 6th overall title this weekend, but not after this first race, but still very important race for him to gain some points. Of course, the battle of rank number 3, it's still electrifying, and the chrome category itself, so much energy going on here in France. We're so happy to be here and welcome our commentators.
Yes, hello everybody. Chaz Draycott here for the 2024 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, penultimate race weekend of the year here at Le Mans. Everybody's so excited for this one. It's always an absolute joy to come here to this legendary location and go truck racing in one of the finest weekends that you will see on the calendar. We have 3 individual championships here this weekend, full of racing trucks. So many of them all in one place. It's been brilliant to see it so far, but a great exciting weekend already underway. Unfortunately, no broadcast of qualifying earlier on, but we will get straight into the action with the racing, and it's going to be just as electrifying. As Christina said herself, really is an electrifying atmosphere here in France. And as you can see in the background, grandstands are packed with people coming out to see the finest truck racing drivers in the world, not just in Europe, but these drivers are some of the world's finest. A very packed grid for us as well this weekend with 18 trucks involved, our biggest grid of the season, and plenty of newcomers to show us what they've got. We've apparently got breaking news with Christina, I'm told, so let's head straight back down to the grid and see what she's got.
Breaking news today, Andre Kurzem is going to leave his team at the end of the season. What a sad news on one hand, but you left the door open for the future. But first, let's talk about this decision of yours. How did that come?
Yes, at the last 5 years, I went with Sven Walter Logistic and the whole team in the FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and I think we have a lot of good times, we have a lot of bad times, and that's the real thing, the normal thing in motorsport. Now we have to, because I have to thinking about a new chapter. Maybe I can try it, but I want to try it. Maybe I can do it, but we will see what happens next year.
And there you go, the words themselves from Andre Kurzem. It would be a massive shame to see him out of the sport, so it's always good to have him in. And it's just going to be a different chapter, as he said, without Don't Touch Racing by his side for the future endeavours. There is Sven Walter himself as well, with Ty Greenwood from T-Sport Burnau. And this is the circuit that they are doing battle at this week. I love this circuit, the Le Mans Bugatti circuit. Very, very difficult indeed. Often used for motorbike racing, but as you can see from our displays this weekend, it is very well suited to truck racing as well. The Dunlop curve up to the Dunlop chicane, a very, very important part of the track to maintain high speed and obviously get a decent run before they run down to La Chapelle. Garage Vert, the double apex right-hander, is a big overtaking opportunity as well. You may see drivers try and move down the inside into Chemin-aux-Boeufs, but I'm not really sure we're going to see too many sends there. Recordman at the end of the lap as well. That is a key overtaking opportunity right at the end of the lap where drivers can then focus on a run down to the start-finish straight. The start-finish line is not too far down the straight, actually. It's right out of the last corner. It's really, really close to the exit of the last corner, so it's very important to get a good run from there. But this circuit, on paper, looks tight and twisty, but it really is more tight and twisty when you actually get out on the circuit itself. There's a lot of run-off area around this place, so you can get away with quite a bit. But still, it's narrow in itself. Norbert Kisch starts on pole position then once again this year with Jochen Hahn alongside him. Jochen with 6 championship titles to his name. Norby hoping to take that title this time round and equal that record. Antonio Albacete starts from 3rd on the grid with Andre Kurzem alongside him on row 2. Steffi Halm then lines up with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez on row 3. Next up, though, is Sasha Lenz in 7th place. Not the qualifying he'd be hoping for. He's only 12 points ahead of Antonio in the championship, so he needs to move forward from there to help gain some of them back. Stefan Faas is in 8th position on the 4th row, ahead of the great Luke Garrett in 9th place. Great qualifying from Luke, ahead of Lucas Hahn, who completes the top 10 drivers for us on this occasion. Next up is Mark Taylor. He's alongside his countryman John Newell on the 6th row of the grid. Then it's Heinrich Clemens-Hecker and Louis Rikwenko. Craig Reed and Bradley Smith make it an all-British 8th row of the grid, ahead of Stefan Kirsch, and Simon Faulkner lines up in 18th position, making his debut in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. There's the number 44 machine of Steffi Halm, looking as prominent as ever, and we'll head back down to Christina.
And why not talking to the mister of the debut, Simon Faulkner. Hello, how are you doing?
Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. Thrilled to be here. Yeah, looking forward to it, really. Bit nervous, but first time out in the FIA, but yeah, really good. So, yeah.
What makes it so special talking to all the other drivers? What is it all about?
It's just the whole atmosphere here. You know, I'm used to our smaller circuits. This is a much bigger circuit. It's a much bigger organisation. It's just, yeah, it's a completely different setup. Obviously, you have longer races, so we've got to contend with that. But I'm sure we'll get through. So yeah.
Let's get the engine started. Good luck then. Thank you very much. So we've been very, very close to the drivers here. As you can hear, the signals absolutely blasting in our ears. And that's also good for the drivers. We're helping him with the door shut. Kind of a small assistant here. Happy to help.
Yeah, Simon Faulkner there getting the Iveco underway. Truck number 92 making his debut in the championship. Great to see Simon joining us for this one. He's a lovely, lovely gentleman, is Simon. Had a fantastic evening, an awards dinner at the start of the year, actually, with Simon and a bunch of other drivers. And yeah, he's a very, very funny man. We had a very, very good time indeed. But it's great to have him and the likes of Stefan Kirsch, you can see there in the background, joining him on the grid. We've got a very international and very packed grid for this next round of the championship. And as you can see, heading around the circuit there, we have our glorious Ford F-Max driven by May Fisher. She's leading the entire thing around the circuit as part of the inspection lap for this part of the race weekend. It's basically just to make sure there's no spillages, no debris on the circuit itself, nothing that could stop the race from going ahead. And of course, the Ford F-Max is the official truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Now, at the moment, I have to tell you that the championship lead is that of 69 points from Norbert Kisch to Jochen Hahn. Norby at the moment is in a position to take the title as long as he holds that gap, basically, before the end of the race weekend. Jochen needs to be within 60 points by the time this race weekend finishes. And if he isn't, then that is that. At the moment, there's 120 points on the table. After this, there'll be 100. After the second race of the day, there will only be 90. And then after tomorrow, it goes down to 60. So Jochen needs to be within striking distance by the end of this race weekend. He needs to get the better of Norby at least twice here. But if Norbert doesn't get anybody in front of him for at least races 1 and 3, he will be a 6-time champion in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, equaling the great Jochen Hahn, who is trying to stop him. At the moment, he is 100 and... I'm trying to do maths here. 122 points clear of Sasha Lenz and Antonio Albacete. That means they cannot win the title this year. But they can certainly fight hard for 3rd and 4th, as they have been doing before now. They could even catch up with Jochen if anything goes awry for Jochen at the end of the season. We'll have to see. There are the trucks on the grid getting ready to go. Luke Garrett will be hoping to hold that 9th place that he has worked so hard to gain. We didn't have him with us last time out at Most in Czechia, and he was sorely missed from the grid. He's been a stalwart of it since the start of the season. He's had a very, very rough year, but the team have persevered and carried on with all the hard work. Look at the size of this grid then. 18 trucks making their way down towards the first corner and the start of their formation lap. So we'll have a rolling start as ever for the first race of the weekend. And I'm really looking forward to this one. A very exciting 3rd row there. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Steffi Halm starting in 5th and 6th positions. Steffi on the inside line, sorry, the outside line for turn 1 is actually the pole position line. And then Jose Eduardo will be down the inside for turn 1, but not the inside for the chicane. That's the idea of it here, is that it gives you the sort of bonus and the advantage going into the chicane itself. There's the long right-hander down at the bottom of the hill. This is where it breaks off from the Circuit de la Sarthe to the Bugatti circuit. We turn right here instead of going straight on. Norbert Kish and Jochen Hahn on the front row. Once again, if I had a penny, I'd be very, very rich. Tell you what, we've had a lot of that this season. Antonio Albacete next up with Andre Kurzim alongside him. A fantastic self-advertisement that for Andre Kurzim if he wants another team to take him on for the remainder. Steffi Halm next up and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez alongside on that third row of the grid. Sascha Lenz next up with Stefan Faas alongside him on the fourth row. Sascha will be really hoping to move forward from there. Stefan will want to take the win in the Chrome class. Two more Chrome drivers next up, Luke Garrett and Lucas Hahn. Right together, very close in terms of lap times. Only 0.04 of a second between them. We then have Mark Taylor and John Newell side by side on the 6th row of the grid, the two British drivers. They're then followed by Clemens Hecker in 13th and Louis Requenco in 14th position. Let's not forget Louis Requenco won a race outright here last year. We then have Craig Reed and Bradley Smith next up on the 8th row of the grid. Great to see Craig in the championship. Bradley's been with us for a few rounds now. We then have Stefan Kirsch and Simon Faulkner completing the field. Another pair of fantastic additions to the field. Such an epic weekend this is. Great to have such a big grid for this one as well. Bradley Smith working with the Don't Touch Racing team in that MAN for this weekend. Craig Reed, I believe, in what is an ex-Steffi Halm Iveco S-Way as well. He and his brother Simon have these gorgeously prepared red Ivecos. You can just see him going through shot now. The red and white design on them this year is really stunning. They're always beautifully prepared and they really do fit in amongst our fantastically prepared field here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It'd be great to get the pair of them out there on circuit at some point in future, but Craig is dipping his toes for this weekend to see what it's like, and hopefully he and the team enjoy themselves. Here we go then, round the final corner. The lights will come on, and round number 21 of the 2024 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is underway, and Norbert Kish gets a great start and tries to swoop around the outside of Jochen Hahn and keep that advantage. Antonio Albacete has cleared Andre Kurzim for third position. He's now slotted in behind Jochen as well. Will there be any moves down the inside into the first chicane? Steffi Halm moves to the left-hand side. Has to get on the brakes hard though because Andre Kurzim is just in the way, just blocks that inside line. Looks like Steffi's gone a little bit deep into the corner there, and it seems there might have been contact with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. I think they all got away with it, but it's Norbert Kish leading Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete down the hill. Andre Kurzim having to defend from just about everybody else as Luke Garrett tries to go around the outside of Lucas Hahn and hold his position. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez there saying no room for you, Steffi. Is big contact between the front end of Sascha Lenz's truck and with Steffi Halm. Bit of bodywork goes absolutely flying. Not quite sure whose truck that was from. Now it's Jose Eduardo Rodriguez on the inside of Sascha Lenz, that is. As they go through the left-hand hairpin, pieces of bodywork and fiberglass absolutely flying. Jose Eduardo giving no room whatsoever to Sascha there on the right-hand side. There was a bit of shenanigans here last season with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and his father Jose Rodriguez in the Chrome class. The drivers had a bit of a talking to at Jarama when we got there last year. Don't forget, in less than 7 days, we will be at Jarama. Here's that contact then. Look side by side. Jose Eduardo says, you are not coming back on this track, sunshine. The two of them sort of got locked together there. You could see they had to forcibly remove the trucks from one another. I'm wondering whether Jose Eduardo Rodriguez has got a flat right rear tyre. I think he has. I think that right rear tyre has gone down. They still have an inside right rear tyre. They have 4 wheels on the back to these trucks. But having that outside tyre go down is going to lose him about 10% of his pace here. They can run at about 90% pace, but it's really going to affect him through left-handers like that. The back end is going to break away. And yes, indeed, that right rear has gone down. And on the very first lap as well, Steffi Halm trying to make a move while also defending from Stefan Faas. Lucas Hahn is in there, then Mark Taylor, then Luke Garrett as well. But it's Norbert Kish leading us at the end of the first lap. Then it's Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albacete, Andre Kurzim and Sascha Lenz already up into 5th position. You can hear tyres screeching around all over the place as everybody tries to scramble their way out of the final corner. But a nice packed field. Everybody still running. Heading back up towards the first couple of corners. There's some of the penalty markers being replaced at the final corner by the very brave marshals running across the track. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez now having to get to work on defending that position from Steffi. Looks like Steffi's got a bit of a run. Apparently there's no investigation for Rodriguez and Lenz. But Steffi Halm gets through. There's no investigation there. And this is for the lead of the Chrome class. And Stefan Faas says, hey, you can have the front right tyre go down as well if you want. Big bit of contact as they leave the right-hander at the bottom of the hill. This is where Jose Eduardo is going to struggle, though. He's going to struggle getting the power down on the exit of corners like this. Side by side there between Clemens Hecker and John Newell. John trying to get down the inside. Lucas Hahn wants a piece of this now to get ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. Let's not forget, this is for the lead in the Chrome class. There's no other Chrome drivers in front of these guys. There's more contact there between Stefan Faas and Lucas Hahn. And now Mark Taylor is in the picture as well. He wants a piece of this. This is epic fighting in the Chrome class already. This is what we had last year. And we're going to get it all weekend once again, it seems. This circuit provides so many opportunities for drivers to overtake one another. There's always somewhere to try it. Let's just have a look here. Look at the white and red truck. Oh, actually, no. You know what? I don't think there was contact between them there. I think something came off Lucas's truck and it sort of hopped the wheel up in the air, maybe. Didn't look like he was close enough to anybody to hit them there. That was very strange. There's Clemens Hecker's team watching on from the pit lane. They're all going to be on the big screens around the circuit as well. So they'll all see when they're on camera. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez really struggling with that right rear now. But he got his elbows out in the first lap. Look at how they bobble their way around this chicane. A couple of years ago, I compared them to 1,200 horsepower bouncy castles around that section of the track, and it certainly still looks the way, doesn't it? Craig Reed kicking the back end out there ahead of Louis Requenco. But it's Norbert Kiss, Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albacete, Andre Kurzim, Sascha Lenz and Steffi Halm the top six. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez next, and then Stefan Faas. Let's not forget, the second and fourth races of the weekend have reverse grid elements to them as well. So if you finish in 8th position, you will be on pole position for race 2. Now, apparently, the number 38 machine, which is Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, who we see on screen now, is being investigated for driving standards. So, with multiple bits of contact in the first few laps, his driving is being looked at as Luke Garrett goes a little bit too hot on the exit of the right-hander, and Clemens Hecker says, thank you very much, free championship points. I will take those. Or he would have done, actually, if they were inside the top 10. They're not in the top 10 here, so no points for either of them at the moment, as they are outside those all-important 10 positions. Andre Kurzim now under pressure from Sascha Lenz. Sascha has moved forward from 7th on the grid. He's having a great run so far. If he's right behind Antonio Albacete, he can be really happy with that position. There is Norbert Kish's team watching on as they watch the big screen at the end of the start-finish straight. That's where a lot of the teams will be looking. Steffi Halm almost on her own at the moment, really. Bit of clear air around where she's placed on the circuit. There is Luke Garrett chasing down Clemens Hecker in the Scania, trying to get the better of him out of that chicane. Great to hear from Luke before the start of the race that he's a lot more comfortable with the truck. It is one of the most important things in truck racing, is to be comfortable with the machine underneath you and be able to push it when you need to. Seems like Craig Reed has lost a position to Louis Requenco on this lap. Louis moving up into 14th position. Norbert Kish crosses the line, starts another lap, the 4th lap of the race. As Luke Garrett there having another issue into the final couple of corners. So what he was saying before about being comfortable with the truck, maybe a little bit too comfortable with how he was off the circuit. Sascha Lenz all over the back of Andre Kurzim. Looks like Andre's gone a little bit hot into the chicane. Sascha tucks up right behind him. You can see the shadow from the truck cast over the rear end of the number 11 Don't Touch Racing machine. Sasha's going to try everything he can here. He's looking around the outside to try and carry momentum, get a later apex and cut back. Doesn't quite make it work there. A little bit sideways from Andre. It's going to be tough on track limits this race as well, because a lot of the penalty markers have been knocked down in the first couple of laps. A reminder as well that these trucks all run on 100% renewable HVO diesel. I can't even say it right when it's on the screen. Apologies to our graphics guy, Patrick. We've got penalty marker warnings coming in now, as I mentioned. Numbers 44, Steffi Halm, Luke Garrett, 42, 81, Mark Taylor, 18, John Newell, 22, Lucas Hahn. All getting penalty markers. Thanks as always to my colleague Alice Holloway, who is providing all of the information from race control. Stefan Faas getting a penalty marker warning as well now. And another one for Luke Garrett. It's just a countless list coming through on my WhatsApp. Thanks very much, Alice, for providing the info. She sends it to myself, EB, and to Fonzie Cebrian as well, the Spanish commentator. Joachim Ebert's doing the German commentary, as always, for us. There is Requenco, there is Craig Reed, and just behind there is Bradley Smith, and then Stefan Kirsch, truck number 32. Simon Faulkner was in the background there, still learning more and more all the time. As we've said before, it's really not easy to just jump into the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship and be on pace. And as Simon rightly pointed out, we have longer races in this series than a lot of other truck racing championships. So there's an extra window where the drivers need to get used to the behaviour of their truck, and obviously think about the mental game as well. You know, you have to have your head in the game. Apparently the start is under investigation as well. There it is, there's your graphic, right on time. Lovely stuff. There is what's left of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's truck. Still with that right rear tyre down. The left rear doesn't look too fancy either, to be honest with you, but he's still in front of Stefan Faas, which is incredible defending. And he would still be on the front row of the grid for race 2 of the weekend. Here's Sasha Lenz trying once again to get back past Andre Kurzim. Still cannot do it. Antonio Albacete is chasing down Jochen Hahn. Now Sasha dives to the outside, then cuts back to the inside on Andre Kurzim. Lovely move, but that's going to put him on the outside line for Garage Vert, which is the double right-hander coming up. Can he carry enough speed around the outside? Will Andre give him the room around the outside as well? It's easy to overdo it as the truck on the inside there. There's a little bit of contact. They lean on each other. Looks like Sasha's going to get that done. As long as he gets a decent run off the corner, he's going to be on the inside for the next chicane. That is lovely by Sasha Lenz. Great move. It's not over yet, though. Andre's keeping him honest. He's keeping him in the middle of the road. Look how close they are to each other as they head into the chicane. Sasha Lenz has the inside line and has the position. Great stuff from the number 3 machine and the driver, of course, as well. Moves up into 4th place now. Started 7th on the grid. What a drive through this has been by Sasha Lenz. Took advantage of some of these shenanigans at the start of the race, and now he's in front of both of the Ivecos. This is the driver in front of everybody at the moment, though, Norbert Kish, 5-time European champion and absolute superstar of truck racing, continuing on in dominant form as ever. Jochen Hahn, 2nd place, not letting him get too far away. Antonio Albacete still in the picture as well, in 3rd position. Just having a quick look at the lap times as well. Norbert Kish, the only truck at the moment that was setting any times in the 206s. Although actually Jochen Hahn was a little bit quicker than him on that previous lap. Norby did a 207.2, whereas Jochen did a 206.8, so 0.4 of a second gained by Jochen there. Maybe Norby just managing the race, just keeping it calm, just holding that gap to the fact of a couple of tenths. Or to the matter of a couple of tenths anyway. Here is Stefan Faas, still trying to get past Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, with Lucas Hahn and Mark Taylor in there as well. 3 of these drivers will end up on the podium in the Chrome class. Heinrich Clemens Hecker wanting a piece of the action too, actually, in 5th place there in their class. Let's not forget, the driver that finishes in 8th position overall will be on pole position for race 2 of the weekend. Look at the size of the crowds here around the Le Mans Bugatti circuit. It's just brilliant, isn't it? There are fans absolutely everywhere. More penalty marker warnings coming in. Truck number 38 getting one as whoa! Stefan Faas throws it into Garage Vert, way too hot, locks up the rear brakes. Truck goes completely sideways, tries to rejoin as safely as possible, gets back under power, but look, he looks to the inside, then Jose Eduardo Rodriguez covers it off, Stefan has to slam on the brakes to not hit the back of him and locks up the rear axle. That was a brilliant save, to be fair to him. Very well done indeed. And right now, the race is still very action-packed. Lucas Hahn got past him there, and so too did Mark Taylor. That's now been reflected on the timing tower on the left-hand side of your screen. Stefan Kirsch just going a little bit hot into that chicane there, wasn't he? What that does now do is put Lucas Hahn in a position to take pole position for the second race of the day. As you can also see, the series itself has been in position to be awarded with the FIA 3-star environmental accreditation. The main leap forward in that, of course, being the HVO diesel, 100% renewable fuel that our trucks run on. And there's many more contributions amongst the paddock that help towards the series. As you can see, there is our wonderful graphic for the aforementioned 100% renewable HVO diesel. Updates still coming in from Alice in race control. The numbers 64 and 68 now have penalty marker warnings. That is Louis Requenco and Craig Reed, 14th and 15th on the road at the moment. Love that shot of them making their way down the hill there. A little bit of smoke coming from Lucas Hahn's truck. I'm unsure whether that's just a bit of bodywork, maybe rubbing on a tyre or something, because he had a little bit of contact earlier on in the race that would have definitely upset the truck in some way. But look at the four of them all glued together. It's not like they're really making any inroads on Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, is it, at this point? I say that, and now at an important section where it's all about getting the power down, Lucas has closed right in on him. But Jose Eduardo, I mean, he's very, very quick. He's a very talented young man. He won a race outright, let's not forget, last time round at Most in Czechia. He became the latest winner of a race in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And he's now adapted himself to drive around that right rear tyre going down. You can sort of get used to it over the course of a race. There's Stefan Fast and Heinrich Clemens Hecker. The two of them teammates in this championship as Sweden Power. Now Lucas Hahn looking a little bit more aggressive in trying to get past Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. He wants those big championship points. I think he wants points more than pole position in race 2. He tries to go around the outside to maybe cut back on Jose Eduardo, but the Portuguese driver is putting that truck in all the right places right now. Look at the 5 of them, completely nose to tail, round the final corner, powering their way across the line. Looks like Lucas has got... No, I thought he had a bit of a run there, but no. He just pulls out to the right-hand side to stay in that clean air. We're now on lap 8 out of 11 here at the Le Mans Bugatti circuit in round 21 out of 28 races this season in the 2024 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Hard onto the brakes into the chicane they go. I love that shot as they all filter their way up there. And then under the huge bridge, the legendary bridge here at Le Mans. Back down the hill they go, hard onto the brakes again. Lucas so close to the back of Jose Eduardo, but still just cannot do enough to get by at this stage. Looks like Mark Taylor has actually got a bit of a run on Lucas there as well. I think there's some sections of the circuit where Lucas really doesn't have the power. There's quite a bit of smoke coming from the back of one of them anyway. Now, Mark's not really been left with much of an option here. I don't think he wants to fight Lucas this hard because the two of them will lose Jose Eduardo if this is the case. But Mark, if he gets ahead of Lucas, will put himself on pole position for race 2. He's muscled out slightly there from the long left-hander. Will he put his nose down the inside? No, he will not. He's going to try and avoid hitting the back of Lucas, though, as it all checks up into Garage Vet. Stefan Fast also trying to avoid contact as well. There's definitely smoke coming from somewhere. When Lucas gets on the power, it seems like something is spinning up, or there's contact between a body part of the truck and some component somewhere, maybe even just scraping along the tyre. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez doing a great job here to hold station in front of all these guys. Mark Taylor there having a bit of a wiggle on the way into the chicane. I think he just snatched a break. Not able to get past Lucas Hahn yet, but at the front of the field, Norbert Kish crosses the line once again to go on to the 9th lap of the race now. The ticker in the top left of the screen tells you what lap, or how many laps we have completed. 8 in the books now. And it is Norbert Kish, Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albacete, Sasha Lenz, Andre Kursim holding on to 5th position at the moment with Steffi Halm not too far behind. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's 7th place would give him pole position for race number 2. Got some great battles going on here in this round of the championship. The sun is very much shining now. Christy mentioned that there was a little bit of rain earlier on while the trucks were waiting on the grid. That is not the case anymore. You can see the clouds out in the background. I've had news that there's one particular driver that might be under investigation here for the start of the race. I won't communicate that yet till we have confirmation, but there's a driver near the sharp end of the order that is under investigation for the start. It seems like they are looking at some drivers more than others. But Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is doing a brilliant, brilliant job here. Somehow defending from all these guys behind. It just seems like Lucas, at certain parts of the track, just doesn't have the sort of get up and go out of the corners to really punch after him. Seems like a very strange sort of mishap with the truck. It's not quite behaving as he'd want it to. Let's not forget there is another race coming up later on today. Local time, it will be 6:10 in the evening, our final broadcast. If you're watching along with where I am in the UK, then it will be 5:10 local to here. But our second broadcast of the day will certainly be a spicy one with the reverse grid here at Le Mans. It always is. Still got 2 laps left to go. We're now on to lap 10 here at Le Mans. Norbert Kish, Jochen Hahn, Antonio Albacete on for a podium apiece at the moment. That will be Norby's 20th podium of the season and his 16th win. Be Jochen Hahn's 18th podium and Antonio's 6th. More team members there down in the pit lane all watching. You can see the sunshine very much in everybody's eyes. Somehow Jose Eduardo holds on at the moment. The big counter on the top of the bridge, by the way, the gantry as they go down the start-finish straight, that tells them how many laps are left. So you'll often see when we're sat on the grid, it'll just be a big number 11 on there. It's not some sort of homage to Andre Kurzim, but it's how many laps are left. Okay, the investigation into the start is apparently going to continue after the race, so it doesn't look like anything will come of that during the time that this is broadcasted. We are now 75% of the way through the race as well. So any red flags or anything after this point will then declare this one a result. You can see penalty markers and bodywork and all sorts strewn around the circuit there as well. Mark Taylor out of shape there. A bit of contact with Clemens Hecker, I think. He's now between the 2 Scanias. Stefan Faas wanting to try and get through. Mark's on the inside. Nearly contact there between him and the number 24 machine. Clemens Hecker wants a bit of this as well. This is opening up a slight bit of daylight to Lucas Hahn just in front of them. Lucas all over, I was going to say the back of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, but he's now next to him. Is he? No, actually. The overlap is eradicated. Just one more lap to go after this. John Newell is closing in on this fight as well. So too is Luke Garrett. Number 25 machine really trying to cling on to the back of this lot. Norbert Kish is now onto the final lap of the race. Jochen Hahn in 2nd place. Antonio Albacete still in 3rd. But this battle in the Chrome class has been absolutely tantalising all the way through. Look at the gap that Sasha Lenz has made there over Andre Kurzim. What a great drive he's having. Lucas Hahn wants through here on Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. He's only got one more lap to do it as well, so he's going to have to push hard. Jose Eduardo and the team will have a lot of repairing to do between races. Luke Garrett there kicking the back end out around the final corner. Very stylish stuff. I've thoroughly enjoyed this race though. Loads to look at. Hope you've all enjoyed it too. It's not over yet though. We've obviously got reaction from the drivers and teams to come after this. And then of course we'll look at some highlights before we bow out until our broadcast later on this evening. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez though, I mean, we don't do driver of the race, but for me, despite the driving standards warning earlier on and a bit of unnecessary contact here and there, you could say He's driver of the race. What a fantastic performance this has been to defend. Mark Taylor down the inside of Stefan Faas in the Scania. The two of them right on each other as they leave the corner. A little bit of a rub, a little bit of contact here and there as Clemens Hecker slips sideways as well. Mark tries to put Stefan in the middle of the road. Oh, there's contact. I think Stefan's gone slightly straight on. He's gone into the side of Mark. Mark's going suddenly very slowly. What's happened to the number 81 machine? Did Luke Garrett manage to avoid him there? I think he did. Luke had to dive out of the way. It just wouldn't go for Mark. I think he might have slipped out of gear or something. And he's lost positions. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez nearly going deep into Garage Vert there. It looked like Lucas Hahn was going to get the better of him in that final corner. But at the very sharp end of the order, Norbert Kish is going to take another amazing race victory. This is going to be his 16th win of the year. Norbert Kish rounds the final corner, and podium number 20 is his, and one hand is on the trophy now in the 2024 season for the Revace Racing superstar. Jochen Hahn, second place. That's his 18th podium of the year. And Antonio Albacete will get himself his 6th trophy from his 2024 campaign. What's the battle like further back? Who's it going to be on pole position for the next race of the day? There's Andre Kurz, him and Steffi Halm across the line. Sasha Lenz finishing in 4th ahead of them. Is Jose Eduardo Rodriguez going to hold on? Lucas Hahn is all over the back of him. The second truck in this queue will be on pole position for race 2, and it's looking like it's going to be Lucas Hahn. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, what a drive that is. He somehow still wins in the Chrome class with a wheel completely gone down in terms of its tyre. Stefan Faas gets a podium in class. Lucas was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. More of that, please. Absolutely more of that to come later on. But Norbert Kish, once again, taking an excellent, excellent win. A lot of hard work went into that one. Maintained a decent gap over the other trucks and did everything that he needed to do. Jochen Hahn in second place. Antonio Albacete joining him on the podium. As of right now, that's 14 championship titles between those three. 3 for Antonio Albacete, 5 for Norbert Kish, 6 for Jochen Hahn. And very soon, it could be a 15th title between the 3 of them, as Norbert Kish is on the brink of getting number 6. As you'd have seen just a moment ago, there was an incident between trucks 24 and 81, which is Stefan Faas and Mark Taylor. That is under investigation. Stefan there, the truck with the red bodywork, just hanging away slightly from that front right corner. There is your result in the Chrome class, though. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez takes the win there. Another victory for him. That's his 11th win in the category this season. Second place for Lucas Hahn means it's his 9th podium appearance. Stefan Faas gains his 14th podium, and that's important for him. He's 3 points, or was 3 points, behind Mark Taylor in the championship, and now he finishes ahead of him in that race. That may put him back in second place, but a real tight scrap there for second. That will continue on with the weekend, I can guarantee it. Into the pit lane, though, comes Norbert Kish. Beautiful shot there by our cameraman. Janine Meyer welcoming him in. Antonio Albacete will park behind Jochen Hahn. And then we wait to see Jose Eduardo Rodriguez make his way into the pit lane. There's Norby's team. Stefan Honens on the right-hand side there. And Lucas Hahn, I think, trying to stay out of the way. As Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, there he is, pulls in to his slot as the Chrome class winner. But Norbert Kish climbs out of the number 1 machine, Baloo. And he will celebrate with the team in just a moment's time. Big thumbs up from Norby. Another victory to rack up another incredible campaign. 16 race wins, and that is one hand on the trophy, surely, for 2024. He celebrates with the team, big handshakes and hugs all round. Such a closely knit unit, the team. There's Csaba Bako as well. Great to see a big smile on Chaba's face. Look forward to seeing him and the team at Harama. in less than a week's time as well. It'll be very quickly upon us, but we've only got one race out of the way, so I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. As you can see, so many members of the media and all sorts. Everybody wanting to document this incredible season by Norbert Kish. There's Casino from T-Sport Bernau, giving his congratulations as well to our reigning champion. Continuing on in incredible, incredible fashion. Certainly looks hot down there at Le Mans, doesn't it? Like I said before, it may be cloudy and there was a little bit of rain, as Christina pointed out at the start. But it's hot and humid when you're inside those truck cabs, I can tell you that. In just a moment, we will try and get a reaction from Norby with one of his, to be fair, almost traditional race victories to start the weekend. And the sun really beaming down on everybody now. I'm really excited to see what the conditions are like for later when the sun continues to go down here in France. There is Jochen Hahn celebrating with the team, and Lucas as well. And we'll go back down to Christina.
Step by step, still it is Norbert Kish, but small steps to take maybe for a victorious weekend starting right now. With how competent are you feeling right now with your team?
Yeah, it's so far so good, you know. We've been fast today, pole position and the race victory. You know, I think it's everything is going well.
Absolutely, and the team, oh sorry, I stepped on your foot there. The team is also working really good. They have got a small backpack for you with a towel and something to drink. Also very important.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's good to clean up after a race like this, you know, because we are sweaty and everything. So yeah, they always watch out for me a lot. So yeah, race racing is the best. Really thankful for the guys. Yeah, we are doing a good job.
And normally after race number 1, the champagne, you do spare something, so you might stay clean as you are, but still, how is it to, yes, see the grid, 18 contested overall. It has been absolutely packed out there, but also great.
Yeah, it's very good, very happy about it. Yeah, looking forward to race these guys in the reverse grid race as well.
Thank you very much. Up to podium, and right now up to you, Chess, staying also clean.
Yes, indeed. Trying to. Let's have a look at the results, shall we? Let's have a look, because that was another outstanding performance by Norbert Kish. 16 wins so far this season. Jochen Hahn finishing in second place. Antonio Albacetti in third. Sasha Lenz, a great recovery drive that after a poor qualifying to finish in fourth. Andre Kurz in fifth and Steffi Halm in sixth. The 6 Titan drivers at the very sharp end. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez was 7th ahead of Lucas Hahn. Somehow Jose Eduardo held on. Stefan Faas and Clemens Hecker complete the top 10. More championship points there for Clemens Hecker. Then it was John Newell ahead of Mark Taylor, who was beaten around a little bit at the end of the race there, and we'll see what happens if there was any penalties to come from that. Luke Garrett was 13th with Louis Requenco 14th. Craig Reed in 15th place. Bradley Smith 16th ahead of Stefan Kirsch and Simon Faulkner. Everybody finishing the first race of the weekend in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It's what we love to see. And let's have a quick recap of the Chrome class as well. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez wins it by just over 0.3 of a second. Lucas Hahn in second. Stefan Faas in third. The podium separated by less than a second. Clemens Hecker in fourth, just misses out on a podium. John Newell in fifth. Mark Taylor sixth. Luke Garrett seventh. Louis Requenco eighth ahead of Craig Reed and Bradley Smith, who complete the top 10 in the Chrome class. And behind them were Stefan Kirsch and Simon Faulkner. Great entertainment from that Chrome class, though. Really, really enjoyed that one. And you can bet that we're going to be getting more of the same in race 2 later on. It's going to be Lucas Hahn and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez on the front row. They're going to have a big gap back to the remainders of the Chrome drivers, so they've got plenty to work for. Let's have a look, though, at the highlights from that race. It was once again cloudy skies here in Le Mans, but still hot conditions and packed atmosphere between all of the fans and the drivers and teams. Everybody really anticipating a great race to get the weekend underway. Tyre pressures and everything checked, ready to go for the first encounter. And once again, we had Norbert Kiss and Jochen Hahn on the front row. It was a great start by Sascha Lenz, who made places early on, not without a little bit of contact with Steffi Halm and with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez on the way, but that would set Jose Eduardo up with a lot of hard work to do with that right rear tyre going down on his MAN. He defended incredibly, though, from all of the Chrome drivers behind, including the likes of Stefan Faas, Clemens Hecker, Lucas Hahn, John Newell and Mark Taylor, while Sascha Lenz continued on a charge further up the order, eventually going on to take a great 4th place. A little slip up here from Stefan Faas would throw him right back into the mix with the likes of Clemens Hecker and Mark Taylor, and the battles would erupt ever further, while Norbert Kiss stretched his lead at the front of the pack ahead of Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete. Lucas Hahn was throwing everything in the form book at Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, but contact on the last lap behind them was the real trick in the book there. While Norbert Kiss took another victory, putting one hand on the trophy, and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez put on one of the best defensive performances we have seen all season. Well, Norbert Kiss, I'm running out of good words to say for Norby these days. I'm just repeating myself, but he and the team really do an amazing job and continue to do so. And it is almost theirs, the title for 2024. And we'll have to wait and see just who can step forward and challenge him with these final races of the season. We still have 3 to come, rounds 22, 23 and 24 here at Le Mans in France. And then in less than a week, we head to the wonderful Jarama in Spain for rounds 25, 26, 27 and 28. Delighted to say I'll be on site for those as well, so you may see my ugly mug on your TV screens at some point over the weekend. We'll try and reduce the amount of airtime that you see that for. But as you can see, everybody in the green room now waiting to go out on this legendary podium here at Le Mans. It's not a podium that many people get to stand on, as Antonio Albacete makes his way out to pick up his trophy. He's got to check which of the podium steps he has to get onto. And he gives the thumbs up to the cameras. And Jochen Hahn will join him on the podium as well. A big wave to the crowd. A big handshake between those two guys. They've been on so many podiums together, and very often with this guy as well. Norbert Kiss makes his way out for the 20th time this season he is on the podium. There's only been one podium he didn't take, and that was the final race of the weekend at the Nürburgring. And look how big this podium is. It's so cool. So cool, with a huge screen behind as well. And there is the Hungarian national anthem for our race-winning driver Norbert Kiss. Apologies, it took me a moment there to realise that it had come on, so I didn't mean to speak over it, so I just stopped very abruptly. But usually the trophies are handed out first, then we get the national anthems, but we do things a different way around here. As Antonio Albacete is presented with his trophy for third position. Like I said before, only his 6th podium of the season. Having a bit of a quiet season so far is Antonio. driver that he's fighting hard in the championship is Sascha Lenz, and Sascha has 10 podiums to his name so far this season. But Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kish receive their trophies, very important ones here at Le Mans. It's an incredible event for them to be a part of, and they will be very, very happy with their winnings there. Big smiles on the top step of the podium for our 3 drivers. And they will now pose for pictures to the other side, where all of the media tend to be, just on the bridge to the podium. And they will have champagne, but I believe they will keep hold of that for later. Not quite sure what there is to discuss so much with the trophies themselves, but still. A lovely shot there. Oh, there you go. That was quite impressive, actually, that by Norby. They will spray the champagne down towards the teams and the media down below. I don't want to be the person having to clean that glass. But the 3 of them sharing a podium once again to celebrate together. And the 2 teammates at Rivation T-Sport as well are certainly clear in the Teams Championship now. This is the Drivers' Championship as it stands then. Norbert Kish, 310 points to his name, with Jochen Hahn on 236. Next up, Sascha Lenz, now on 178. Antonio Albacete on 164. Steffi Halm in 5th place, with Andre Kurzim 6th. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez next up, ahead of Lucas Hahn. He is actually tied now with Mark Taylor and with Stefan Fast, the 3 of them on 49 points. John Newell next up with Clemens Hecker, Louis Requenco and Luke Garrett, completing the 14 drivers that have scored points overall so far this season. So now we're going to get the Chrome class drivers out onto the podium. Stefan Fast finishing in 3rd position in that race. Gets another trophy. I'm just checking how many podiums that is now for him this season. That is podium number 14. Lucas Hahn, welcome back indeed. Always great to see Lucas on our podiums. Lovely young man, very, very talented driver indeed. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez takes another victory in the Chrome class, and we will now have the Portuguese national anthem. Or at least I believe so anyway. Yes, we will. And there's the Portuguese national anthem for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. That's his 11th win in the category this season. No other driver in the Chrome class has more than 3 triumphs to their name so far this season. Stefan Fast gets another trophy for his troubles. He had to work hard for that one. A few moments in that race where it nearly all came undone. And then Lucas Hahn receives his trophy for 2nd place. A race-by-race entrant this season. Once again, Lucas Hahn, but always impressive. And then big smiles for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. After taking a victory outright last time at Autodrom Most in Czechia, he will be over the moon to know that he still has the form in his own class as well. The 3 of them posed on the top step of the podium for some more pictures from the media down in the pit lane. And then they will rotate slightly to the right for the media on the bridge, which leads out to this epic podium. Or at least I thought they would. Never mind. I need to stop jumping ahead of myself with the procedures here, don't I? They'll spray champagne down. I think Jose Eduardo said, now we're not going to spray it all, but never mind. Lucas has jumped ahead of them on that procedure in particular. And they'll take the rest of it back to the teams and hope to celebrate with it this evening. But we'll have a look at the Chrome Class Championship standings now. It's a 44-point lead going into this race weekend for Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, and he now extends that gap to 55 points over Stefan Faas and Mark Taylor. Stefan moving back into second place in the championship by just 3 points. John Newell is in fourth, with Lucas Hahn into fifth place ahead of Clemens Hecker. Louis Requenco is still ahead of Luke Garrett in seventh and eighth, while Bradley Smith and Jonathan Andre complete the top 10 of our point-scoring drivers so far in 2024. Craig Reed, in his first performance in the Chrome class, gains 2 points from his return, or his debut in the series, I should say, here at Le Mans. Let's not forget we still have another race coming up later on today at 6:10 local time, or 5:10 here in the UK. We will be back for the second race of the weekend. Really looking forward to that with the reverse grid element. But right now we're going to go back down into the pit lane and speak to Christina, who's got Jochen Hahn.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Absolutely sunny right now here at Le Mans. This 18th grid with so many people on there competing, how great it is. And you can also give us an inside perspective on how it's going to be at the reverse grid.
Yeah, we don't know what's going up on the reverse grid, but I'm really a little bit unhappy with the race. So I think in the start, I think, okay, now it's time to fight with no big hits. 1 lap later, it's 2 second distance. It's a mistake in the setup, but you know, it's so short to make a mistake and lose time. I'm happy and unhappy. So from this side, okay, now we look to the second race and hopefully we found the correct clicks and maybe a click in the head, and then we make race for the people.
A click in the head is always good. What could make you happy beside a win?
I'm happy when we have no damage, when we have fun, you know, when we challenge it. But this race, it's not really a challenge, so it's a gap and you make your race. So, but we race, so we need a fight, you know. And I hope we have a fight in the second race, and then we make action.
We make clearly some action here, so tune in later. Thank you very much. Jochen Hahn, so happy, unhappy, but happy for this interview. We will have a look if Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is going to step down the stairs. Oh, he's there. Good. Then we can go directly into the interview. Congratulations, another victory for the Chrome category. This is the category in this big, huge field of today. 18 trucks out there. How was it competing?
Yeah, it's very good for the championship. It's more trucks. For me, it's good for the experience, and we'll see.
Also have much more personnel in the rear mirror, but also gaining important points for your category. How do you stay calm this day?
Yeah, it's a difficult start for me. I have a puncture in the first lap, and I have a lot of pressure in every race. And I take calm and focus in the secure the place. Is very important for me. The lot of points for the championship, and we'll see.
Was the puncture then the situation where the truck behind you also needed to go hard on the brakes? Did it happen there? And where was it? In the front or in the back?
In the back, in the right side. It's very difficult because the truck is very inconstant in the what they say in the turn. Sorry, it's very inconstant, and it's a good race for me. The seventh place.
Absolutely, it is. So congratulations for that. And what can we expect at the next race?
I start in the front line in second position, and the secure the place, and we'll see what's happened in the first corner and then all of the race.
Thank you very much. All the best. Get prepped and get the puncture fixed. Of course, the teams, they do have a lot of work. As you can see, everyone is right now leaving grid here right now. Please tune in later on at 6:10 p.m. We're going to be back here at Le Mans in France in these sunny conditions. Maybe there's a black cloud over there and there, but we absolutely ignore that. So it's been a sunny day so far. Thank you very much for joining us, and we're hoping to see you soon at the next race then. 6:10.